I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not going to act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends.
Well, what, Gabby?
You're coming to LA tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Gabby.
Well, okay.
Okay, what?
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
I might choke you in public. Big black guy chose small white woman.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
Not a good look that you do what you think you did to me.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly, on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
Welcome to Just the Guys Podcast.
Guys, salute to you. Positivity is definitely coming your way. If you are in the chat, get the likes up, share the video. Salute to you, Logic. Salute to you, Soldiers of Finance. Salute to you, Gimpy. Today is April 26th, if I'm not mistaken, 2025. It is a beautiful day where I am at. Hopefully, it is a beautiful day where you are at. We are coming strong on this Saturday to discuss a multiplicity of topics. One being what we just saw on screen there with Shannon Sharpe. I have a number. I'm going to say this number, 192. 192, Soldiers of Finance. Do you know what that is?
I'm not familiar with that number.
Okay. Gimpy, do you know what 192 is?
No, I do not.
Okay. Logic, do you know what 192 is?
I can't say that I do.
192 is the draft number of Shannon Sharpe. He was drafted in the 7th round in the 1990 draft. At 109, he was 192nd pick. I wonder why. The draft process proves a lot about a metric. It proves that, well, the metric proves that there are some character flaws with a lot of these people. Shannon Sharpe, incredible player, but even in his mid-50s, look at how the nigga is behaving. So they were right to draft him in the 7th round almost 40 years ago because they knew it was something off with this nigga. I rock with Shannon Sharpe. He was one of my favorite players growing up. But this is another embarrassment amongst the black male community. Nigga, you are almost a senior citizen and you on the phone with some 19-year-old white girl talking about, hey, I'm gonna choke you out, baby. You know, I might choke you in public. You know, you gotta get that out of your system at a certain goddamn age. I am sick to my stomach to hear this. Shame on Shannon Sharpe, but in the interest of the last day of the draft, I wanted to just talk about 192. He could have gotten drafted in the 1st round in 1990, but it was a character flaw even then. And it has not left him. He's one of the good ones. We as black men, Gimpy, you are a part of this conversation too. We gotta change our poor patterns of behavior. We are being recorded now. We are being watched more often. You gotta be very, very careful in this hashtag Me Too generation. Women can accuse you of anything now. You gotta be careful with text messages, jokes, etc. You can't be a senior citizen getting caught like that on the okie doke. I'm gonna yeah, baby, you know, come down, joke you out, baby. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, those days are over. Those days are over. If I were you, I would try to not even have eye contact with a lot of females out in public, strange women. If you're on the elevator and some broad gets on, you get your ass off. Is there something wrong? Yeah, there is something wrong. Kabluka, you get off. Don't be in a room with a strange woman alone. At work, nothing. Let this be a perfect example. Because I don't want to be in my 50s looking stupid like that. I mean, my God, when does it end? Go ahead, guys. Go ahead. What say you about this topic? Go ahead.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, Shannon's definitely dumb. I mean, like you said, 55 years old. My daughter's 13, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, 13 to 19. It's only 6 years. I mean, just think about that.
Yeah.
That's only 6 years. That's a child, bro.
Yeah.
That's a child.
Yeah.
Like you don't like. There's not enough lived experience.
Yeah.
Forget. There's just, and I'm not talking about experience like physical or anything like that. I'm just talking about like right here. There's not enough in here to even compare, to even have some type of connection. Like it does not make sense. But, you know, I do think this is a shakedown for Shannon Sharpe, but I think he set himself up, you know, because I am a big advocate for men doing the right thing, being the leaders, those type of things. However, you know, this is a shakedown, and this is the result of, you know, laying down with fleas. Laying down with dogs, you get fleas.
Yeah.
But at the same time, man, like, how do you get yourself in this? Like, what level of, what are you missing in life?
Yeah.
You have to do this.
Do that. Yeah. Scale of 1 to 10, Logic. What is she? I know you are a married man, but you know,
I don't even know. I hadn't even, she's 19, bro. I mean 20. Like I hadn't even looked at her.
Okay. I'll give her mid in the face. Body is super hot. But I see where you were coming from. What is Shannon missing, sir? What do you think he's missing? What is your anecdote?
Well, I mean, I think Monique said it best, man. He's just missing companion. Like he needs a woman named Bertha that, you know, knows how to rub his feet, all this stuff, cook him a good home cooked meal. And quite frankly, I think to him, he doesn't know what he's missing. He doesn't know what he's missing. He's searching for something.
Do you think he's one of these types that he has a self-destructive behavior to him? Like he invites this type of self-destruction in. Like, think about it. He's been a high-level player all his life, great reporting jobs. There's a level of comfort and security, and maybe this is like some sort of way to self-destroy himself. Does that make any sense to you?
Well, I think with any human being, right, our vices can destroy us, right? I mean, he was already caught on his own phone going on Instagram Live, you know, in a situation. But I think our vices, right? You know, not to get biblical, where our gifts make room for us, our vices, the opposite, you know, kind of make room for destruction, right? So, I mean, this is just clearly what he likes. You know, he has, I think, done a relatively decent job up until now of keeping it under wraps. But, you know, at some point, you know, you play with fire too long, man, you're gonna get burned.
Yeah. Gabby, what say you, sir? Thank you so much, Logic. What say you? 56.
So, first of all, I want to say it's funny that you should say the black male community, because for a moment I had to think, did you mean Shannon Sharpe or the white girl? Which group are you talking about? The black male or the black mailer? That being said, he's a degenerate. He's been a degenerate. This isn't his first degeneracy. We're learning now that he has a predating lawsuit with a previous ex-girlfriend for similar things. And then my good friend here to the side, Soldiers of Finance, and I'm going to pass it off to you after I say this, if you don't mind. But you did point out Shannon Sharpe is known for saying, if you catch me with a black girl,
Yeah.
I'm holding her for the cops. So, you know, with that level of degeneracy, I leave the rest to you guys.
Yeah.
You know, CT, you asked, what is he missing? I think that what he's missing is adoration. Okay. Imagine Sunday after Sunday, you got 70,000 people right there in the stadium alone.
Yeah.
Cheering for you. Okay. You're like the modern day Roman gladiator. Okay. And these guys, unless they're super grounded, I think any of us might be susceptible to becoming addicted to that. Okay. So I think that's one of his problems. He's never grown out of that, apparently. As far as you know, the woman is concerned. Look, what's this guy in the comments? He said it best. Mr. Craig. Mr. Craig said, where's he at? Imagine letting a teenager trick you out of your spot.
Yeah.
Damn, you know, because that's essentially what just happened, right? So, and when he says trick you out of your spot, let's quantify that.
If you kill that green guy, or if that green guy that's flown,
you want to bring the kid on as a guest? Might as well at this point.
Ravani.
Oh man, my son. Hold on, he's in the background. My fault.
When he's talking about trick you out of your spot,
Yeah.
we're talking the $100 million podcast contract, $10 million at ESPN.
Yeah.
Okay. Jeez, man.
He's done. He's done by his own hand because he thought he's going to be smarter than all this instead of handling this like a proper celebrity. He tried to settle with her, right? Like he tried to play these games and whatever instead of lawyering up and going quiet. And he made it a very public thing by releasing audio and making this very public on social. I'm sorry, I don't mean to jump in like, but again, he is a degenerate and he is getting what degenerates get.
So to define this, you are a money guy. Does he have $50 million?
You know, when they talk about these guys, net worth does not mean you've got X amount of dollars sitting around. Okay.
Yeah.
It means you've got assets that equal that, you know, minus liabilities. So he might have just put himself, look, I don't think he's going back to ESPN. This is Disney. Disney owns ESPN. And they are not going to have someone on their airwaves, their Mickey Mouse airwaves, with all of this salacious stuff that keeps on coming out. All right, we're talking BDSM, we're talking anal, okay? Yeah. Forcibly.
Dude, I heard the video makes him look real bad. Ball gags, stuff like that.
I've heard that, man.
I don't know. I've never seen the video, so I don't know. But the things that they say about it.
I've heard that. And Chaotic, no, he's not going back to ESPN, so that's $10 million down. Whoever these people are that were going to pay him $100 million for the podcast, I'm sure they got a morality clause in there. And they're looking at this like, should we go or not? Or maybe we go and we renegotiate and offer him less, you know? Yeah. So she wants, they offered her 10. She wants 50. Shannon Sharpe doesn't have $50 million laying around.
Yeah, I don't think he does. He only made 22 in his whole entire career. What exactly happened? I mean, other than this audio of him saying, "Hey, go choking," you know, baby, I'm gonna do it. What is she suing for exactly? Does anybody know?
Something along the R word.
Yeah. And see, that's a problem I have too, because if you're alleging that, then the first place you should be going is a criminal court.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's not doing that. All right. Gordy says SEX is SEX, YouTube guys. We all do it. Some are more freaky than others, but what's the big deal? The big deal here, Gordy, is that she's alleging that it was not based on consent. That's what she's alleging. But like I said, Gordy, I got a problem with her alleging that and not taking it to a criminal court.
Guys in the chat, get the likes up, share the video. Salute to you all. Please, guys. hit the members or the join tab and become a member, guys, and also go over to Pops and Politics. So let me get this straight. So he's banging this 19-year-old, and he grapes her one time, and she comes back for sex a second time, and then he grapes her again, and it's like a pattern of grape consent. When how? Because I'm trying to figure out how does this work. Like I know she's not going to the.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just think there's a Tony Busby hotline, and Tony Busby has kind of he has a prospecting list, right? Okay, who's messing with who? Somehow it got out, probably somewhere along the lines that Shannon Sharpe's messing with. Let's put Shannon Sharpe on the radar, right? And someone passed the card over to this chick, and she said, and Tony Busby gave her the playbook. Say, you want to? I mean, why are these girls on OnlyFans? Why? I mean, why?
Well, they're whores. Yeah.
And they want
money. I mean,
a payday, right? Yeah, I mean, think about OnlyFans as a platform, right? And think about the draw and the sell of OnlyFans. The whole idea is that you can make a whole bunch of money, real quick, right? So, with that in mind, I can do nothing and make a lot of money. Let's do nothing and make a lot of money, and the victim in this case, or the gotcha guy, whatever you call him, is
the
Shannon
mark.
Sharpe. Yeah, the mark is Shannon Sharpe.
Get it. So now we live in a generation, Gimpy, Soldier to Finance logic, where women can just accuse you of anything. Is this?
Yes,
is this
but also no. I'm sorry. I disagree wholeheartedly with what you're saying. The degenerate that he is knew exactly what he was getting into. And you know what my proof is? They both recorded each other for evidence against each other for future possible litigation.
Are we going to...
all those recordings and shit predate them suing each other and all that jazz that they're... When was the last time you recorded a phone call with your wife for evidence?
Never.
How about you, Tyrone? How about you, CT?
Never.
I'm sorry. Again, he is a degenerate. He knows what he is doing. He is getting into bed with an OnlyFans model. Just like she is a hoe, he too is a hoe.
Are we going into you kind of defend just like, I mean, like to
no, I don't
live in a lifestyle. No. If you are living a lifestyle and you know who you are and you know that people can come after you and you know you're not married, I think you do certain things to defend yourself, or to not to defend, but protect yourself. Right. So video recording conversations or which in itself is illegal in some states. But like doing those type of activities I wouldn't necessarily fault him for that.
Are we going into the generation of obviously we are aging out, but are we looking at the possibility of contracts for sex? You're out, you meet a chick supposedly, and then you guys go over a contract. Hey, we go back from the hours of 9 to 12, where anal, ass to mouth. You can't do. So I really feel like we're gonna go into this generation where everything is gonna have to be contracted. Things you can do, things you can't do, time. I really believe that's where we are going as human beings.
We have that already. Dude, they have that. They have apps on your phone called consent apps that you put your phones together. And at any point, you can reject consent even after you've given it. Dude, they're already there. Yes.
Yeah. And I just...
So are you saying if you tan it up, you're in that coochie, and she says, "Oh, I don't consent anymore," and you just get one stroke in, that's all. Okay, that's
the world we live in. Technically,
I just want to point out, guys, that after Chaotic's last diatribe, I don't think Disney will be picking up Just the Guys.
Probably not.
Just saying.
Probably not. So okay, so that's how it's gonna work. Okay, wow. I feel so bad.
I think South Park did an episode on that already.
Really?
Yeah, I think South Park did an episode on it. It was at a frat party, and it was like, "Do you consent? Do you consent? Do whatever?" Like, yeah.
And Nick Cannon was talking about that years ago, just before the whole Me Too thing. He was talking about he might have an interest in one of these apps because he was talking about that.
There was a incident.
You want to hear the funniest thing about this whole Me Too movement thing?
What's that?
Today I saw the full circle. So today I saw a meme or a video, whatever, how Hollywood is filled with mid-looking actresses, and we need to bring back better-looking actresses, and there's only one man for it. And who do you think's picture was at the end of the video?
Whose?
Harvey Weinstein.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, so we've come full circle now. People are making memes that they want Harvey Weinstein back because only ugly girls are in Hollywood.
There was a poor guy, Indian guy, East Indian, walked into a Walmart. You know, he's bobbling his head, and he asked this white woman, you know, oh, where's the pharmacy? She was with her son. She reported him. Did you hear about this, Gimpy? She reported him. He got charged with kidnapping. I want to say a sexual assault or whatever.
Dude, they almost ruined his life.
They dropped the charges, man. I am telling you, we are and mind you, they got everything on camera. Turned out it was a lie. Soldier of Finance.
And it was a white girl.
We are in a generation, man, where I'm even noticing it.
Well, look,
man,
Ebony,
women are weaponizing this Me Too shit, man.
But it predates Me Too. Ebony rightfully points out Emmett Till's situation. That false allegation.
Yeah.
So this has been going on for
a long time,
quite some time, and I don't know if it's you know, a woman's word is not automatically taken as gospel in certain cultures.
Yeah.
But in the West, it typically is. You know, believe all women.
Yeah. And I know in the black culture it is. Let's bring Coley's super chat back up. Salute to you. Thank you so much, sweetheart, for the $5 super chat. Where did it go? Okay. Coley with the $5 super chat says, hey, fam, just came by to show some love. Thank you so much, Coley. Guys, remember, guys, if you are in the chat, get the likes up, share the video. Let's get the channel to 100,000 views in 72 hours. 100,000 subs in 72 hours, excuse me. Get the likes up, guys. Share the video. Positivity is definitely coming your way. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe that Shannon Sharpe is a degenerate. Put a 1 in the chat if you think he's a degenerate. But yeah, oh yeah, Soldiers of Fortune. That's finance. That's where we are going. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sorry, the people in the chat said they didn't hear this story. But
Walmart Karen accused an innocent man for kidnapping. Poor guy. This Walmart Karen from Georgia wrongfully accused an Indian man. Play the video, please. Here we go. Look at this white devil.
Arkansas man is behind bars after police say he tried to kidnap a child in an Ackworth Walmart. Atlanta News First Sarah Hammond live at the Cobb County Jail. And Sarah, the child's mother said this was just terrifying.
Right. We talked to the child's mother, who says her son is safe and with her, but she says those terrifying moments could have ended very differently. So Ackworth police say that this man, 56-year-old Mahendra Patel from Kennesaw, tried to snatch the child away from his mother in the Walmart on Cobb Parkway last week. Caroline Miller, the toddler's mom, said they were in the aisle when Patel came up and asked her where the Tylenol was. When she raised her arm to point, she says that's when he grabbed her son. Thankfully, she said she still had a grip on him, and they entered what she described as a tug of war for about 10 seconds.
And I'm like, no, what are you doing? What are you doing?
So lying.
And I got him back, and then he just stared at me and then goes, oh, I just wanted to get him out of your lap so you could get up and help me. Which was weird.
Oh, you hear the fire alarm? Oh,
and then he just walked off.
Black.
Patel is charged with simple battery and kidnapping. He's being held at the Cobb County Jail without bond. Live in Cobb County, Sarah Hammond for Atlanta News First.
Poor Indian guy, this white woman falsely accused him. They got the video. I guess it was proven that it was a false allegation.
Oh, the video from the Walmart shows that he's just there as he never touches the kid. Yeah. None of it. Nothing she said ever happened, dude. It was total lie.
Gimpy, there about a year ago, I was on about 2 years ago, I was on the Lapeef network. And it was a whole bunch of cackling hens below me. And they got mad at me. This video is viral. They got mad at me. I said the best thing a man can do now is avoid a lot of chicks in public. Because they were like, well, you're a black man, you're supposed to protect her. I said, hell no. I said, even me, when I go into, in which I don't like going into Walmart, I'll go into a place, I'm looking for an old cashier, old black woman, or an old white woman. But young chicks, hell no. Because these, I want to, I know, so we're done with the old Disney contract. These bitches can get you on reckless eyeballing now. So don't do it. So the girls got mad at me.
Because this happens a lot. I mean, you got a lot of guys that have been released from prison. These stories, they hit for like a day and then they disappear. A lot of guys get released from prison after finding out that accusations like these were false. And one recent one, I can't remember the state, but the girl got like 30 days. She's got to serve it on the weekends. It was some real lenient treatment for falsely accusing this guy.
Yeah.
And that's got to stop, man. When they learn that people have women have made false allegations, ruined people's lives, they need to put their asses in prison for years. Okay. Years.
So I'm in the school of thing, right? If you make any false accusation, forget about a woman to a man because it applies there too. But if I accuse you of murder or rape or any of that, whatever the penalty you were facing, if it turns out I was lying and the whole accusation is based on my lie, I should be facing the exact same consequences. So if it's lifetime in prison, then lifetime in prison.
I'm okay with that.
It's 10. Then that way you're directly proportional to the lie you're telling.
I almost
you should just cut off your tongue.
I thought you were about to say something else in terms of proportionality, but you went there in terms of sentencing guidelines. Okay.
No, I'm just saying, like in terms of our society, it should be if you bring a false claim against somebody for a crime, you're subject to the penalty of that crime.
Correct.
And
okay.
A false claim shouldn't have the punishment should be whatever you accuse somebody else of, you should get. If you accuse someone of a violent, then you should end up in a violent felon's prison for the same amount of time.
Can you imagine trying to get to sleep at night knowing that somebody is serving prison time because you lied?
Yeah.
I mean, look, I think that's a woman thing, though. I mean, not to sound misogynist, but I mean, go back to that Adam and Eve joke. It's just never enough. It's just never enough.
Yeah. Got to avoid a lot of these broads, man. What's the second topic? What's the second topic,
man? The religion of black man. We got our first class.
Oh yeah. Prophets. Oh, go ahead, Gabby. Go ahead. You about to say something? Go ahead, Gabby.
I was just gonna say, how could you forget the thing that you're like the religion you literally are the prophet of, and you totally forgot the talk? Like that's not a good start for your.
No, the religion of blackness, man. It's guys in the chat. Please hit the like button, share the video. Positivity is coming your way, man. The religion of blackness. Just recently, we are seeing it again, or we saw it again with the new selling piece, Shador. Shador wasn't drafted in the top in the first round, second round, the third round, or the fourth round, and there were blackity blacks, particularly Ocho Cinco, that were bringing up blackness. Oh, they're doing this because he's a successful black kid from a successful family, and this is that and the other. And I'm like, God damn, it just never stops with this religiosity, if that's a word. And what it is that this religion has become so embedded into this society, man, that it's driving people like me crazy. I really wanted to talk about that, and also there's this big fat ass professor from Harvard, Soldiers of Finance. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Are you talking about the one with the afro?
Eli Mizell.
He was basically saying that black people shouldn't have to follow the laws in this country.
Eli Mizell.
Yeah, so black people shouldn't have to follow the laws in this country. Here goes another. The religion of blackness says that I don't have to do this because my religion says that I don't have to follow that shit. So think about dietary laws, right? In certain religions. Well, I can't eat that, right? That's part of my religion, right? You got to respect my religion. I can't eat that. Same thing with this fat professor. I don't have to follow. Imagine if he had enough people to follow him and to say, I'm just listening to one of our black prophets.
Sure.
And I don't have to follow the law. Pow. Just shoot some
Well,
white person.
what would happen?
I ain't gotta shoot you.
What would happen is we'd see a larger degree than we currently see of inner city violence, making predominantly black enclaves hellscapes. Okay. That's what he would like, because
But wait, so let me not to stick, because again, I'm not a member of the cult of the religion of blackness, but being it's only
I think you still have your black card.
I do have my black card, but I'm the small hat advisor. It's about as close as I'm going to get to this nightmare. If we had to say that this was a rule that we were writing down, first of all, I offer the opportunity to call the scriptures of the religion of blackness the Negronomicon. I feel that that's a very suiting name.
That's it. And we're going to put that book.
First rule of blackness be forever victimization, because that's what you're talking about. That it's always someone else's fault.
Gippy, I just sent you a video. If you could share this video about the religiosity. Here goes a jihadist to a degree of blackness. Some mop-headed kid. He has radicalized himself to the point where his religion, blackness, is telling him that it's justifiable to delete white people. So here goes the video. Gippy's going to bring it up.
I'm getting it queued
Thank you
up.
so much. Get the likes up, guys. Share the video in the chat. Positivity is definitely coming your way. Hit the join button and become a member. You guys will buy beer, alcohol. Some of you buy crack. Certainly, you can buy a membership to a channel of free speech. Yeah. Get the likes up. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to lay off my crack today and get a membership.
Exactly. Now look at this jihadist, this black jihadist. Listen to this.
One way black people achieve true liberation, that's by taking it in blood. There has to be blood all over the floor. There has to be bodies on the floor. There has to be people screaming and crying. That is the reality. And this is what history shows me. No amount of begging, no amount of complaining, no amount of protesting, nada is going to get you your liberation until you take it with blood. You see? Yeah. So this is why I sit back and I don't play along with any of these black people talking about it's a spiritual war, this, that, because when those cops are going into our neighborhoods and shooting our babies, that's a physical thing. You see, y'all so worried about the spiritual world, but you're not worrying about the world that's right in your face. When we're getting thrown in prison, that's a physical thing, right? Address the physical. You see, this is why I say don't hit my phone until y'all ready to do what y'all know we got to do. When y'all ready to go outside and hunt them white boys, hunt them cops, go to that white boy's neighborhood and fuck his shit up. When y'all ready to do what y'all know we got to do, hit me. But until then, I'm not playing around with y'all because it's all of these excuses for why we don't want to do it. Why? Many of us are scared. You know what I mean? Many of us are complacent in our oppression. Many of us don't want to burn the relationships we have with white people, all of these things. So I'm going to sit back and do my thing. When y'all ready to go outside and take blood, hit me anytime. But you see, a lot of us are not ready to do that. But I'm trying to tell y'all, there is no freedom. There is no liberation for our people until there's blood on that floor, on that battlefield.
Ground.
And that's the truth we don't want to admit.
But see, he will never drive down to the corner of North and Dukeland, Poplar Grove and North. He will never confront corner boys that are committing murders of black people in the hood daily. He's a coward. He will never do that.
So to be fair, sorry, go ahead, Jovan. Logic.
So look, man, this is why I say in the religion of black, woman is God, right? Because first off, he said our babies. Who talks like that? Right? He's reflecting what he's heard. Also, again, this Adam and Eve joke just has stuck with me ever since I played it on Poppin' Politics that time. The whole idea is never enough. Because at black people, after slavery, we was in politics, we had land, we had all these things, but it wasn't enough. This is how you know, like it's you can be on your own, like Tyrone, living producing your own calories, build your own home, have your own family. But according to these people, it's never enough. And this is how you know it's a woman's, like, woman is the God. The black woman is God in this particular religion.
Yeah.
Look, I got so many different places, but I'm gonna just sit it right there.
Look, to follow up on my last point, Mr. Craig says, or real Klansmen. Right. So look, drive up to northern Idaho. Go find these, Klansmen that you're so riled up.
Can I interject
Nothing's
here?
stopping you.
Look, Tyrone, I'm on your side with this completely. On a daily basis, CT asks people to cam up and show me this victimization.
Yeah.
Show me you going up to the Pookie and the Ray Ray on the corner and saying, stop selling drugs in my neighborhood. Stop being gangbangers. He challenges all these people who are acolytes and worshipers of the religion of blackness who come up on his panel and demand that he recognizes that their interpretation of the black strife should be his version of blackness, right?
Yeah.
And he asked them in return, show me this victimization. Show me how you're standing up to the actual blacks that are causing us problems and causing us headache. You're just here to yell at the white people.
Yep.
Because you are worshiping this first rule of the religion of black that's in the Negronomicon.
Yep.
Thou shalt be a victim.
Yep. And everything is the result of whiteness. So the thug is a creation of the devil, which would be the white man. So they're not going to blame the Pookie and Ray Ray. They're not going to look at the Pookie and Ray Ray like this. But I could tell you something that's very dangerous about this boy. Now, he's about 22, 23. You ever met somebody who just found Christianity, just found Islam?
Mm-hmm.
This boy probably went to some little stupid liberal arts college, and some white professor probably was telling him about historical injustices that he ain't never lived through. I would even argue his grandmammy and daddy ain't never lived through it. He became radicalized, and that's why he's talking like that. He didn't speak really incoherent English. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, I could read one of these jigaboos like the back of a. I'm telling you, man.
It's either that or he's a deep cover FBI agent.
He looks too young for that, but wow, he could be.
Well, they cultivate him like. I mean, who knows? Black don't crack. Guy could be 36 for all we know. You know, it's either that or because they do things like that. You know, to draw out all kinds of dissent. So,
really?
Oh, every day of the week. Go through the Randy Weaver incident, Ruby Ridge, and you'll learn about all of these embedded informants and agents they had that ginned that whole thing up.
Yeah.
Oh, Ruby Ridge, totally.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys also, since we are on the topic of black is a religion, notice something about a lot of these blacks. Now, in religion, you have symbolic attire. Look at his hair. You know, that's a part of the religion of blackness. I'm gonna have my hair in such a way that I'm forcing blackness down your throat now with all this mop haired shit that I really think that people should cut off. You know, that's just my opinion about it, man. But I'm telling you, this kid probably had a short taper fade and he let it grow out because some pro-blackity black got to his head. And now he's probably losing out on so many opportunities because of that hair. So I'm telling you, man, it's real deep, man. Go ahead.
No, I mean, you're right. It has the outfit, the garb. But I just want to say that oppression is the form of a worship. This is how you worship in the religion of black.
Call in, Ebony, when we drop the link, sweetheart. Call in, sweetheart.
Expressing how oppressed you are. Expressing what you want to do to combat that oppression, that is the form of worship in this religion of black.
Can you go back to Ebony's comment? Ebony, sweetheart, I was sent by the universe to be a divine messenger, particularly for the black community. Ma'am,
And brother,
I'm cringe because you, ma'am, are probably one of these individuals that takes up for the George Floyds, that takes up for a guy like that in that video who's calling out nonsensical violence on a white population. Man, this kid doesn't understand the world. Thank you so much, Gabby. This kid doesn't understand the world. Okay, you take over. How are you going to operate and maintain, manage, and control critical infrastructure, critical systems? How are you going to get supplies over into the country? How are you going to feed 40 million black people? Ma'am, this kid is an anarchist. He's a jihadi to a degree. He's like one of these Afghanis living in the desert in abject poverty like it's a Stone Age. I don't want to live like that, ma'am. Hey, look, I would love to live in a Wakanda, but I got to see a blueprint, and that kid ain't got it. So I want you to
call in and challenge you.
I want you to call in, Ebony, because no offense now, you should be holding a mop right now in the kitchen. Your hands should be soaking wet from washing dishes. Now that's all women, in my opinion. You have no place here. Now it's not a misogynist thing. It's just that you are talking to a person who is a prophet, if you will. And me, that's me. I know about
YouTube, the Moses of YouTube.
The Moses of YouTube. So call in, beloved, and please, I will allow you to speak to me, my child. Go ahead, guys. Go ahead.
Dude,
Was that too hard on Ebony? Was that too hard on Ebony?
Here, I love it.
Okay.
Negronomicon, the Moses of YouTube.
Was that too hard on Ebony?
No, you're fantastic, brother.
Okay. But call in, my child, and you may speak to us. Go ahead, guys. Go ahead.
Oh, come on, dude. You gotta enjoy this. This is YouTube, man. You gotta have.
Put up Mark's comment, his latest comment about do-gooders.
Oh, which one, Mark? Sorry.
Mark, yeah.
This one?
Yeah. No. He basically said that liberal do-gooders will do you in real good.
Oh, wait. I saw that one. Hold on. Here, this one?
Liberal socialist do-gooders will do you in real good. Look, again, I don't know, man. These people, we are at a point in society where we are literally, as a species, about to go to Mars.
Yeah.
Okay. We've decoded the human genome. Mm-hmm. All right. So if you ever seen that movie Elysium,
yes,
there was a reason that the elite lived out in space and like the divisive
and the rest of us
on the actual Elysium station, there were all kinds of ethnicities. All right. But down on the earth, in the mass planetary ghetto, there were people like this guy, who nothing but division, still having the same type of tribal mentality that humanity had 10,000 years ago. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of people left behind. Mm-hmm. Humanity's birth rates have stalled. Okay, 8 billion might have been peak humanity. So they're starting to come down now across every nation, even China and India. So maybe we're slowly going back to a point where there'll just be less humans on the planet at some point, and there'll be more serious people. And people with this mentality will just age out, go extinct like dinosaurs.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that'll happen. I mean, just like with the whole LGBT stuff, like it's not sustainable, right? At some point, and maybe you call this the survival of the fittest or what have you. But yeah, like you said, man, it's not sustainable.
Gibby, have you dropped the link for Ebony?
Oh, am I supposed? Sorry,
because I and I know we have one more topic to discuss. The judges who are harboring MS-13.
Oh, dude,
right?
Can you put that link in back chat because it doesn't come up as a link when you put it through StreamYard.
And so Ebony, while we are putting the link in the chat, I would love for you to call in and give your opinion and perspective. but I don't think you will call in, Ebony, my child. I think you're gonna sit in the chat and just get upset about the things that I say, because I am a mirror. I'm a mirror on Black culture. I'm forcing you Blacks to look into this mirror. And for the first time, a lot of you guys are seeing poor patterns of behavior, hypocrisy. And a lot of you Blacks can't take it. And I think that's why you were upset, Ebony, because I'm showing you the truth. So please, my child, call in, my child. The two judges, Logic, who were arrested for harboring MS-13 gang members. What say you, sir?
Look, man, you can only break the law for so long. It's this whole social media virtue signaling. Now it's gone wrong. Remember, it is literally keeping it real gone wrong, right? Because harboring fugitives is a crime, and as a judge, it seems like our judges and our people that are supposed to be interpreting and representing the law no longer know how to follow the law. I mean, see little things, kind of lead up to this. I mean, you saw Marilyn Mosby in Maryland. She's like, she's a lawyer. She should know the law, but she's going to do things. You see Letitia James
making me feel super good about my prediction.
But you see like little activities from these people that are supposed to know better. That are saying, okay, so we can do this, we can do this, we can do this and get away with it. We did this for so long, got away with it. And now they're doing these things to virtue signal in front of a crowd to say, hey, look, we stood up for the less fortunate and the disenfranchised, and look at us. And they're gonna get taken away in cuffs because you're literally breaking the law.
Big time.
Yeah.
So this is me being proven right. You guys can have whatever say you want. This is my dark horse theory playing out. I predicted exactly this. They would do Orange Man bad. One dude had an MS-13 guy in his house. The other one used the courtroom to distract ICE from her guy, right, who tried to flee. Those are them just doubling down on, we're going to just do the opposite. It doesn't matter what the law is. It's not about them breaking the law. This is my dark horse prediction. It's playing out in front of your eyes. I told you this is exactly what was going to happen. They're going to say, no, we're going to do what we want because Orange Man bad. What the hell is going on here? He's going to go arrest people. All it's going to take is things to start. And now next is politicians getting arrested. I'm sorry. I told you all this months ago when he got inaugurated, that this is exactly where we would be right now. This is the dark horse playing out in front of you, gentlemen.
Does a rational person do that though? Right? Like you're a judge, you're an attorney, you're someone that is supposed to.
They are not judges. They are. I'm sorry. I'm not cutting you off. Please go finish. But I'm just telling you, they are activists.
But my point to it is that these people are showing that they're mentally deranged, right? You can call it Trump derangement syndrome. You can call it insane. But what they're showing is that there's no amount of reason or logic, no pun intended, but there's no amount of either one of those that applies to these people. And that once something is drilled into their head, Orange Man bad, there's no lengths that they won't go to enforce.
Gimpy, I'll give it to you. You did. This is kind of playing out in the way that you forecasted. I will give you that. Now I want you to put your powers to work on something substantive and work on that Powerball number.
Shit, man. If I had those Powerball numbers, I'd be telling all y'all that. So we all got rich, man.
No, but seriously.
And this was predictable. That's what my whole point was back then, is that this, where we are right now, is extremely predictable if you were being honest about what's going on in the world. Like, if you don't pick a side.
These people, like, Logic just said. I mean, this is all coming out of the extreme emotionalism of Trump derangement syndrome. Okay.
It's more than
wild,
that.
man, because you see actual judges. They know better. I mean, come on, man. None of us graduated from law school. We know damn well you can't harbor.
They don't see it as harboring. That's what you don't understand. Like, see, again, maybe I hang out too much with. I'm with you. I'm with you. They don't see it as breaking the law. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
But you have to be deranged not to see that.
No, you don't.
Especially if you have a law degree.
See, this is why you guys don't want to see what I saw months ago. Like, you'll say it looks like I'm predicting the future, but months ago this was apparent. These people drink their own goddamn Kool-Aid all day. You have people on both sides of the spectrum guzzling down the shit they sell for the grift. And they believe their own grift. They do. That's what's happening. So you have these judges who think literally that there is a constitutional crisis going on because some schmuck on the internet told them so.
Okay, so let me ask you this real quick. So I think what you're saying is they have voluntarily led themselves to believe that the very fabric of reality is different.
Yes, and they think that the world is collapsing. They're living the Chicken Little nightmare. They're living
literal crazy. But that's crazy.
Yeah, but they don't realize it. They're not like conscientious. They have drank so much of this Kool-Aid. They think that the fabric of the Constitution is unraveling. And as a judge, they have a moral and ethical obligation to do whatever it is possible to stand in the way of this single individual's administrative plan. That's the pitch.
Look, I don't know if you guys are aware, but there was the commander of the Space Force base in Greenland was relieved of duty because she countermanded J.D. Vance's message to the troops when he came up. And then there's another commander of a base. Her name escapes me. Hispanic American lady
with the flag.
She actually turned the pictures.
Yeah,
Vance and Trump around,
and then she wouldn't even put Hegseth's picture in the frame.
That's right. And so that shows. Let me just be mild about it. That shows extreme partisanship.
Is that not part of the dark horse prediction? But does that not fall in line with exactly? And again, it's not for me being right. I'm just trying to show you the pattern is very clearly there. You hand
no, and these are and mind you, both these women were very high ranking. I believe both of them were colonels, so they did well in their careers, right? And now gone, all because of emotionalism.
So, but that's what I asked too about last week about this whole public undermining, right? We've gotten to where public undermining is just socially acceptable. We have governors going across seas saying they're going to undermine, right. But now in the military rank, you got people just doing blatant stuff, and then it's to me, I just stand behind what I said. You have to be crazy to do things like this. I mean, at some point, don't you get that little gut feeling that maybe I don't want to go that far, or this is wrong, or yes, I'm gonna practice free speech, but I'm gonna do it within the bounds of the law, right? Not harbor a fugitive, not try to make side deals that goes against the president of the United States.
Right.
At what point do you where's the limit? You have to draw a line somewhere.
I would like to say something to that. Again, to demonstrate what I just said earlier, I have to find it again. But earlier I was doom scrolling through X, and I saw an interview of another judge saying that this is the moment in history where they have to take action because it's not about breaking the law. It's about standing up to fascism. That's why they keep reframing. Hold up, please. All I'm saying is that this is a leading judge who sits on a bench, who in a public interview just said that the federal government enforcing immigration law, because no one is saying that they're not getting due process. They're trying to pretend that the process that they're getting isn't due process, right? Like no one here is saying these guys don't get hearing. They're trying to say that there should be more of it, that these guys are entitled to more of it before we deport them. Not that they're getting zero, right?
That's
Like
true.
that's the argument right now. It's not that they're getting zero, right? Because I can understand if the argument is these guys are getting scooped up and just thrown away, right? Like you hear the story about the 2-year-old citizen being deported. Yes, because her mother got deported. They're not giving her anchor baby status. And the mother said, I want my kid with me. We don't separate families because then you'll complain we're separating families.
Right,
She has every right to take her kid home with her to whatever, El Salvador or Argentina or wherever it is she went. But how
I will
do
say
they
this
frame
to
it?
that.
They frame it as a 2-year-old citizen being deported, which is not what happened. So it's not that they're saying that due process doesn't, right? Like they're trying to reframe arguments that somehow the Constitution is unraveling. Why? So this schmuck can get on CNN and sit there and say, it's not about breaking the law, it's opposing fascism.
Okay,
and
so
that's
then
what I
we
mean.
need
They
to do,
drink their own Kool-Aid.
Then what we need to do is call this what it is. What America is currently experiencing is a coup attempt. Is a coup attempt. Okay, that's what's going on.
But they are making fatherhood cool again. It sounds like,
Really?
Well, the Maryland dad, fatherhood. The father sounds nice, and if you compare that with the Maryland moms that were killed by illegal immigrants, but Maryland dad is a story.
Actually, it's not. Those aren't his children.
But okay,
he doesn't have any. He doesn't have any children.
Hey, I'm just saying, Father's Day's coming up in about a month and a half. But the Maryland dad, cool. We like dads now, and also with the whole 2-year-old situation. Well, his father was trying to keep the baby in America. So I guess now the father's position is starting to matter a little bit. So maybe this is a wave we might need to ride to jump on. Let's support fathers.
Mark says the more chaos, the more people will beg for relief through fascism. Good point. Guys, hit the like button, share the video. Positivity is definitely coming your way. Ebony says that she's not going to call in today. I wonder why.
Well, dude, she argues that she's not calling in because she's not giving you the time of day because she's exactly the opposite of what you're saying she is. So she has self-respect not to submit herself to that sort of interrogation. I mean, I'm just so you
then why get upset about what I'm saying about something that she's not a part of?
Because you fucking musty tether, man.
I knew it. I know.
God damn, dude. I hang out with you a lot. I know exactly why everyone wants to catch you.
Yeah. Bansky says, "Can I call in?" Yes, you can call in.
Yeah, bro. Call him.
And Nas, is it Nas? Which one is Shark Tank and which one is Flavor of Love?
Get the likes up, guys. Share the video.
Dude, but I just have to say again, Shannon Sharpe is a fucking degenerate. Like that has to be said very clearly because he only chases. Why doesn't Leonardo DiCaprio have the same problems? He's uber rich and chases the 19-year-old.
I wonder why is that?
Why is Leonardo DiCaprio has a team of people, like a lot of people in Hollywood, that can go around and clean up messes. You ever see that show?
And $100 million podcast guy can't have a team of people or one person.
Oh, you can have it if you want it, if you think you need it. But if you think that you're still playing football and everyone adores you, you might have gotten it in your head that you're above all that. Okay, so you might like CT needs security. I've told him that, right?
Yeah.
So he might feel as though he's above that. So, it's his decision at the end of the day. So, yeah, I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio has that, like a lot of stars. We saw Charlie Sheen had it at one point, but it didn't help him ultimately. He was doing so much stuff. But, yeah, these stars have people that'll clean things up for them for the right price. Spread a little money around.
Republic Room, $15 super chat. Thank you so much. Says late. However, in response to the title, white women didn't take down Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe took down Shannon Sharpe. Yes, we all can agree to that.
We agree.
Yeah, thank you so much, Republic. Hafiz, what say you, sir, about any of the topics we were talking about? Salute to you, sir. You were on mute, sir.
Good evening. Salute, everyone. I hope you can all hear me okay. Good evening, gentlemen.
Shannon Sharpe getting sued for $50 million by a white woman. Was it even worth it?
You know, they say white bunny. What is it? Snow bunnies. They're like a drug, man. They're like that snow that comes from Colombia. You got to be careful. Just as addictive, and it'll cost you your life. So you just gotta watch out. I mean, the thing is, if you look at, they say that behind every great man there's a great woman. Well, behind every time a great man's has been taken down has been by a woman.
Yeah,
and that's also true.
And a not so great woman at that.
Yeah, but the thing is, women have been the Achilles heel of men for so many. How many great men have been taken down?
What are you talking about? Since the Bible, man. Since the Torah. Eve took Adam out.
Exactly.
David, Bathsheba, Samson, Delilah. We've been through it. Yeah.
It's never enough.
It's literally carved into history of man that every time a great man has been taken down, it's because a great woman, sorry, not a great woman, a woman has been that Achilles heel. Even if you look at what's it called, Troy. Troy was destroyed because the young prince couldn't keep his man Johnson in check. He stole Helen from another king, and that king came and destroyed Troy. An entire kingdom was destroyed because of vagina. So the power of vagina is strong, man. The vagina is I personally think is more dangerous than the nuclear weapons. I think nuclear weapons were invented to check vagina. We're not going to be taken down by bombs. We're going to be taken.
So
down
I'll ask you this:
vagina.
Do you think war would exist if there were no women?
Look, the vagina, should I say, is the resource, is a coveted resource within the pantheon of resources that men have to acquire to survive, for survival and reproduction. That is our core being on this planet. That's all we're here for, is to survive and reproduce. That's everything in our DNA pushes us towards that. And whether it was, if it wasn't for women, whatever the other thing would be that would drive us to reproduce would be the thing that would drive us to war, because it's a resource that we covet. Whatever we covet, we will fight over. I mean, there was a guy who said, if there was, if we got rid of racism, there will still be competition. You would still hate your fellow man because he will be your competition for whatever resources that you acquire. Whatever it is you desire and require, your fellow man, doesn't matter whether he's black, white, green, purple, yellow, you will hate him at some point because he has the thing that you want and you can't have.
Yeah, Hutus and the Tutsis. No one can tell them apart outside of their, area. But
voila. The Shiites and the Sunnis, the Catholics and the Protestants.
Are we going into an era where you are going to have to proceed with caution around women?
I think we are. We were in that era, and we came out of that era pretending that everything was fine and dandy. You see, this problem is it's the hubris of the West.
Yeah,
the Western man. He's had far too long a comfortable life.
Yeah,
safe, secure, infrastructure running, water every time you turn the tap, electricity 24/7. We have had life. We've had it good. We've had it good. We've had it good for a long time, and we forgot. We forgot our past. We forgot where we came from.
Dude, that's not like, to be fair, you didn't. You remember a childhood where it wasn't so simple, yeah? Okay, my wife remembers what it was like in the 90s in the former Soviet republics and Russia. I'm just saying there are plenty of people. It's Westerners.
That's
Westerners.
What I mean. Yeah, that was the framing. That was what I was talking about. I wasn't talking about the world. Oh, no.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Nightmarish places in the world.
Turn your mic up to it, please.
Oh, sorry, mine?
Yeah, you're a little low, bro.
Let me see what I can.
While her face is doing that, guys, get the likes up, share the video, hit the join button, guys, and become a member of this channel, guys. Salute to you all. If you can buy crack, you can buy a membership to any channel on YouTube. Go ahead.
And buy memberships here, Pop in Politics, Soldiers of Finance, and Chaotic Truth Live.
Thank you so much, sir.
Look, Hafez's point is well taken. Decadence. I mean, we're not the only late stage empire to suffer from it. And I mean, you just have to look back at history, and we get to this point.
I have posted a video of a documentary, I think it was a BBC documentary, about the age of empires and the life cycle of empires. And the last stage of every empire is the age of decadence. And it's where they become obsessed with sex. Actually, sex becomes an extremely obsessive thing in the last stages of the stage of decadence, the last stages of the empire. Guess what's happening? What is the number one thing that is just constantly in your face? It's sexual orientation, gender identity, sexual habits of women and men, and all of this. It's all around sex. LGBTQI, XYZ. It's all sexual. Everything is sexual right now.
I'm actually afraid here. I mean, Logic, if a chick with an OnlyFans can accuse you of rape, hey man, it's over. That's terrifying, man. A whore. Yeah. Logic, have you ever watched OnlyFans before? You got an OnlyFans account?
No. Dude, Logic is a man of God. What are you talking
about? I am too, but I have an OnlyFans account. But here's the thing.
Well, your God is a very different God than Logic.
Yeah,
no. What I'm saying is that the fact that a woman, normally back in the day, a whore wouldn't have the gall to.
No, because it was shameful.
It was shameful to be a whore.
Yeah.
But man, hoes are accusing men of. Oh, jeez,
man!
Christ.
This is why I bring back shame. It's like kind of the theme of this, right? Yeah. Because look, I mean, before there was a time where it was shameful to have a baby and you're not married, right? There were people that even I know in my lifetime that if you had a baby and you lived in the South, for example, they'd send the mother away to live like in Maryland or Pennsylvania or somewhere because it was shameful to be around the family. Like there was that much shame around doing things out of order, right? That you represent the family wrong. What's in a name, like those type of things. But now because there is no shame, and the lack of shame goes back to it's not just sex, but just like all the things surrounding sex. It's not just missionary, doggy style. Now it's like, what else are they doing in the act of? And there's no shame around these acts. So, we're not.
So, go ahead.
Hold on. Yeah. So like when it comes down to like money, this whole lawsuit industry, and just make a claim. Just make a claim.
But
have you?
Real quick.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Have you guys ever? I've done this twice in my life, where I've completely ignored a female. It drove them crazy. Mm-hmm. Their brains couldn't take it. And I'm an ugly guy, Logic, Gimpy, Feast. So I'm an ugly dude. Imagine the neurons that were trying to calculate this. Well, like the calculation sound. Man, Logic, I don't know if shaming will come back, but I really believe a movement of ignoring women. Like, I mean, don't speak to them unless that's your wife. Don't even look them. Man, I'm telling you.
Well, let me respond real quick.
I don't want to get
real quick. Let me just
fall away from Logic's point about shame.
Let me just finish real quick.
In the late 80s and early 90s, that's when it kind of stopped.
Soldiers, hold on.
Let me just finish real quick.
I'm damn near halfway through the point. All I'm saying is they had a school called the Paquin School. Does anybody remember the Paquin School?
Never heard of it.
Okay, the Paquin School was in Baltimore. It was specifically for pregnant girls. If a girl got pregnant in Baltimore, she had to go to the Paquin School. She couldn't be in the high school with the rest of the kids.
They had those in New York that they isolated pregnant teens.
Hafiz probably knows about this. A few years ago, I'm on the Lapeef network. and I'm giving my opinion about the black community. I'm talking to Anton Daniels, and for people who know who Anton is, this black chick named Six the Goddess get on here. Now, Six the Goddess is one of these smarty-yardy black bitches who thinks she's pretty. I'll give her that. And she got all these simps. Man, I pretty much say, I don't care who you are. I give my goddamn opinion. You're just a woman. I don't really care what you're talking about. Really, in a nutshell. This chick said that I sexually assaulted her on a live stream, on a panel. I had niggers.
Virtually?
Gimpy, if yesterday was an hour ago, that was 2 seconds ago. I had niggers DMing me. Man, I'm gonna fuck you up. You disrespected Six like that. I'm like, what the fuck? My mistake was responding to that nigga chick. Man, I'm telling you, man, I don't know about bringing back shame, but see, his people figured it out. Them Persians and Arabs figured it out. Man, I'm telling you, we might have to do that in this hyper digital social media world.
See, I want to give some pushback because I'm a lover of e-thoughts, right? My Instagram feed is filled with white women making fools of themselves. And I see a huge trend amongst some of the younger age girls like that are traditionalists, that they go out there and they try and be like, they cook and they do it all very hoish in nature, but it's in the things that would be traditionalist in idea, that they're cooking for their man and they want to be taken care of. Now, mind you, these are girls who are OnlyFans girls, so it's hypocritical in its own way, but even women are realizing, is my point, that it's not sustainable, this we don't need men bullshit, right? Like, it's gonna come. You don't have to worry about men doing anything about it. Women will deal with it on their own eventually. Men have to do something that's separate, but I'm making the point of it, even women themselves will run out of gas for this, because more women ultimately they want that level of extra security in their lives. They do. Women want a man who can take care of them. Whether they're independent or not, they still want a man who can take care of them.
You see, what will happen, and this has been an old saying on the internet for a long time, you can ignore reality, you cannot ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. Eventually, this "we don't need man" crap is going to come and bite women heavily on the ass. They know, older women know this. I mean, I almost exclusively date women over 40 now because I'm an old man. And older women are not about all this "we don't need man" crap. Oh no, they know they need men. They've fully accept that, especially those Gen X's and older women.
Over 35 is a wrap.
Yeah. Older women are not delusional. It's this younger 18, 19 to the Gen Z young millennials who have deluded themselves into "we don't need no man." Go to Ukrainians. Go to a Ukrainian woman and find out whether they don't need men. Right. Ukrainian women know exactly where it's at.
My wife shows me all the time those men on the streets where they walk up to Slavic women in like Russia or Belarus or Ukraine, and they ask them, "Do you want a man?" And they're like, "Oh yeah. Well, you were? Oh yeah, sure, but I want a man." They all want. "Do you want to have kids?" "Oh yeah, I want to have kids. I want to have a family.
I will cook. I will clean. I will love my man.
I'll take care of him." That. I mean,
they're all about that. Because they know where it's at. Because they know reality.
It's different. Like, we are the only people who delude ourselves to trying to break. Sorry, go ahead, sir. Please.
No, well, I didn't. I was just saying until after you finish your point. So were you finished? I mean,
my point is simply that women will get as involved as we want men to be involved in fixing the problem. Women themselves are already starting to come to terms that they're maybe not. There are more women who are more into a rethinking what feminism means. Look at J.K. Rowling, right? Like, the whole TERF thing is a demonstration that there's a line too far in the sands for women.
So I'm just going to go back to the shame thing, because when you talk about will shame be enough? Well, you need a motivation to do something, right? I think there's a catalyst in which, saying, well, why are men ignoring women, right? So these men are now starting to practice the act of shaming, right? So you're now ignoring them, because if you don't have a reason or why to do something, you just kind of fall back into the same traps. of doing the same things, whether it's kowtowing or simping or what have you. So if the why is, well, man, we got to shame him because the alternative is, not any has gotten us into a much worse predicament. We have to do this. And I mean, to your point, I mean, another element of the shame aspect is that there is an order to life. There is an order to, hierarchy, God, I'm a Christian, so God, Christ, man, woman, children. But women and children crave direction. If you're not providing direction, you're out of order. And, now, especially with the religion of Black and, this, especially it being the dominant religion in America now, placing the woman as God has placed everything out of order. And if we bring that shame back, if we give men a motivation to say, hey, one, you got to do what's right for you. But two, these women that are coming out, these women are acting a fool. You have to be okay with saying no, with ignoring them, shaming them, because eventually, like you said, it's unsustainable to the way they're carrying on.
You see, unfortunately, Logic, the landscape, the Western landscape. See, everything I'm talking about is in a Western landscape. The Middle East, the Asian world is a different place. It's a different landscape. You're dealing in different rules there, so you conduct yourself very different. Sorry.
One sec. Can you drop the link again? Just because we haven't dropped it in a while. It's not working for me. I'm getting a long link.
Okay.
Go ahead, bud.
So when I discuss these things that I'm discussing is purely in the Western context. Other countries in the world have very different rules and the way they conduct themselves. I'll be perfectly honest. As much as people despise Islam, and I myself am not a fan at all, Muslim world and Muslim countries, the man is still actually the king of the house. He's king of his own castle. He is actually the head of his own realm. It's in the West, and the problem, Logic, is that no matter what you do as an individual, you have now got an entire governmental system that is actively working against you as a man to be the man that you need to be. You can't do the things you want to. You can't really be a protector and provider, because you see, protector and providers require responsibility. Responsibility means that what you say has to be abided by. Now, you can't do that when the person that you're responsible for acts out of sync from your orders. If you say don't go down that alleyway because it looks dangerous, and your woman goes, I don't need no man, I do what I like, I ain't got no boss, how are you to protect and provide when the person who you're trying to protect will not take orders from you to protect you, to allow you to protect them? So you have to either put yourself in front of the knife, throw yourself in front of the bullet, because the person that you're asking to do the sensible thing is not doing it. So you have to put yourself into extra levels of danger to protect this belligerent individual who doesn't even abide by your rules in order for you to protect them.
So first, I wouldn't pick that one, and I get it. I look, man, I understand. You don't know what'll happen down the line. That's why you should evaluate for some extended period of time and, figure out how things go. Also, an easy way is to see how long you guys will last without sex, right? So don't have sex with the woman and see how long the relationship lasts. If it can last for a while, you still have to be careful, but, it gives you a clue. But to the point of your example, right? I'm carrying the umbrella that covers my family. If the umbrella is going this way and you go that way, you are no longer covered. That's how I put it.
But you see, this is the problem, Logic. It's easier said than done. Again,
it's to be. Look, I want to
do it though.
No,
but you gotta realize you can't.
Do. Like, I'll be fair. In 2025, nothing mattered. Like, and I'm not cutting you off. I'm sorry, Faz. Apologies, but
no, it's okay.
It's not just the woman. The woman only feels this strong to be able to challenge her man like this because she has 37 simps in her DMs telling her how they're going to take better care of her than her man. And in all reality, that's the world we've created. where a man can't stop his woman from having 37 simps in her DMs telling her they can do a better job.
It's not even the simps. It's not even the simps. The simps are later stages that they've come along sort of down the road with technology and other things. It's the government itself. The government is the woman's simp. The government, with all these supposed safety nets that the government has set up for women, which were originally, again, they say the path to hell is paved with good intentions. These were all set up with good intentions to protect the woman, to protect single mothers, to give them some kind of safety net. But eventually these safety nets have become the net. They've become the life. They're no longer just an emergency situation, break glass in case of emergency. They are the norm. They are the fact that the government has replaced the husband as the provider and the protector. And the government not only has replaced you as the provider and protector and the head of the family, the government insists you pay for it all or you will go to jail.
Look, there were people at each end stage of every empire that has ever existed, like us, who recognized the issue. At the end of the day, the machinery was moving, too fast for them to do anything about it. We're in that position right now. Okay, so we're observing the end, and when I say end, it may not be imminent in our lifetime, but we are in that progression. Shame is an artifact, I believe, of a high cultured society. America can't even really figure out what its culture is. Okay, like you're talking about with this Negronomicon, Black people want to reject to a large extent Western culture. Remember a few years ago they were saying the Greek philosophers who brought us the idea of reason, that they're all just dead white guys. Okay, so in my estimation, it's fun to wax academic about it, definitely, because we are reasonable men. But at the end of the day, anything short of a war on U.S. soil or some type of global cataclysm is not going to, shame is not coming back into play without something like that first.
So I'm going to dovetail on what you say, because you actually ended it perfect. The reason why shame will never come back is because everybody skips the thing. You talk about government as it's a faceless entity. You know what government is? A bunch of men who got around and made laws to avoid responsibility. Men made this happen. Women didn't vote these laws into existence. It took a majority of men in government. These laws that create welfare state and multi-generational welfare family and all these things you guys are talking about come from the minds of men, not women. These are men looking for ways to walk away. No-fault divorce is a man's justification to walk away from a woman so he doesn't have to have responsibility. Invented by men, not women. Men made that a law, not women. Men made paying single mothers for having kids a law. Guys like my old boss back in the day, the attorney I used to work for back in college, men like him made the law that created, because you can't ever punish the children for the parents' stupidity. That was their rationale for that. But men made these laws. Again, like, the only reason why I say this is because I get yelled at by my wife a lot. Women only follow where men lead. We allowed this to become the case. The world wasn't like this before this. Men led freely, heartless, ruthlessly. I don't care how you. I'm sorry. Again, I land my plane.
No, Gimpy, I agree with you, and I fully put the blame on the feet of men. Anyway, all of this is at men's fault. By the way, all of the behaviors that women are behaving now is purely men's fault, and also supply and demand. Now, what Logic was saying about shame, and that is a thing in the Middle East, actually. We have unlike the Christian world where they have sin and redemption, it's actually shame and virtue is kind of the dynamics in the Middle East. That's why they have honor killings and things like that, because shame is such a massive thing, and shaming the family, honor and shame, these are the two dynamics that they work under, and shaming the family is an extremely important, or is taken very seriously, to the extent that they will kill their own children. But what I will say is that, in spite of the fact that these all fall into the men's domain, and men did all of this, I blame men entirely for all of this, And it's lazy men, it's weak men, but unfortunately only men can get you out of this as well. And right now, the best option that most men have, and most young men have, is walk away from it all. Don't participate, because they can't change it. They feel helpless to change it, but they can't get themselves involved in it because the consequences are so devastating. So their option is just walk away, because men respond to the world in which they're presented with. And the solution that men are finding is, I'm not going to play. I can't play. This game is too dangerous.
Jay Harris with the $10 super chat. Salute to you, Jay Harris. Positivity is definitely coming your way, man. We definitely support the super chat and your support. Thank you so much. Hafiz, you are correct. Go ahead, guys.
No, I just look. I think Hafez is right. Gimpy, you as well. I think we're past shame, though. I think we're past it. We're past being able to use that in this iteration of society.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Cook, brother. Cook.
No, but so I push back a little bit, because like one thing that we often miss is that we're so focused on the kind of like centralized areas where you get a lot of news and media from, like, you know, up and down 95, Baltimore, DC, Philly, New York. You know, it's just kind of like we live in this bubble, and this is what we see every day, right? You know, if you in flyover country,
what's up, Atticus?
The mid part of the country, and just not the coast, there's a lot of these family elements, the family dynamics, men out there leading, a lot of these things exist, right? It's just the coast where we have the biggest problems with this, because this is where our movies come from, this is where our media comes from, this is what's on TV from, on radio.
You ever heard of Atlanta? I mean, the coast are not the only areas where we have.
You consider that a coast too, man. But you consider that. I mean, this is Atlanta's not flyover country, right? Atlanta's they call it the baby apple for a reason.
Appalachia, right? The Ozarks. Okay, there are plenty of places within the interior of the country, and one of the reasons why you believe that's not true is because the interior is sparsely populated. Okay, but we see in these places that move toward the center of the country, again, the Ozarks, the Appalachians, we've got one hell of a drug problem throughout Appalachia. All right, so we see these same issues. These are not a different species of people, you know, just because you live in Arkansas.
But I am saying it's. I mean, even if you go south, Alabama, Mississippi, like the value system is much different than what we see commonly in places like L.A. and Baltimore and New York. Right, like like what's publicly acceptable in places in the South is much different than what's publicly acceptable and culturally acceptable in Baltimore. Right, like nodding out on the street in Baltimore City is a culturally acceptable thing, right? I mean, it's just different in different parts of the country.
So are you saying that New York City should operate like Birmingham?
Well, I just say we need to bring back an element of shame, right? Because what you see is all of these places, like these concentrated places, redefining what morality is, what it means to be right, wrong, what have you. And you still have a more traditional approach in other parts of the country. I mean, large parts of Texas are still pretty outside of Austin and parts of Dallas and Houston, right? Large parts of Texas are still, family oriented, value based. It's shameful to commit and do certain things, right? It's just where your media is coming from.
Austin, Dallas, and Houston, the most populated places in the state. Let me ask you this.
I just said it's the populated areas.
You mentioned, right, that's where the people are. So that would be a good representation of, what the people are doing in those areas. You mentioned people who are nodding out over drugs. How do you shame that? How do you shame them out of that?
I don't know what the activity is, but I'm just saying you know, there used to be a time where being a drug addict and being caught on drugs was not.
Yeah, now you're a victim. No. Sorry. Society as a whole, conservative, liberal, treat a drug addict like a victim, not a fool who got himself hooked on meth or fentanyl. It's always the Mexicans' fault, the Chinese fault, the cartel's fault, the white man's fault. I'm sorry. This is the ongoing. I'd like to point out to everybody on the panel, Banksy, you might not know about this, but there's an ongoing argument between Logic and the rest of us. So in the reality, Logic believes that the 70% of toaster ovens that wander the planet should be saved, while the rest of us have our own varying degrees of how we've walked away from that concept. Me, I'm a burn it down. CT, you know, CT stance. And my friend Tyrone here, he's built the fortress of solitude with his wife. And Logic really thinks you can save these toasters. He believes.
That's not what I said.
No, but that's what it comes down to. You think that there's no saving these people. Why are you so invested in finding a way to fix it? There's nothing to fix. They're degenerates. They're scum. They're versions of Shannon Sharpe. Why do you care? Like, that's all I'm saying. Like,
because
is it important to you?
But Gimpy, you got to realize Logic is a Christian man. He operates on the basis of sin and redemption. He has to. This is part of his worldview is actually sin and redemption. So he has to look at the world with glasses half full.
But here's the thing, man. Look, I'm not the creator, and I just believe the creator put me here to be a light to others. God's love lives within us. And if I'm hiding it, then I'm not being representative of God's love. That's all I'm saying.
And I mean, I for one respect that you have that code and you espouse it through your deeds.
Dude, and he does. Everybody should know, like, he's one of the last good men who wandered the earth. I don't say it like lightly. It's just like, dude, some of these people are not savable. They're not.
Right.
It's not for me to say. Like, but I don't say I'm the one saving them. I just say I'm a light. I'm just one of God's children that's just a representative of God's love on earth. That's all I say.
Republic Room. Thank
20
you so much for the $20 super chat. I'm not trolling. I've been in these spaces before. Social safety nets are not your problem. Culture is. When men are not operating in manhood, everything fails. You talk traditional, but can you support traditional?
So I know me and Tyrone do.
I think,
and I know CT does, and I know Banksy's single, but he would if he could. I mean, everybody on this panel pays the bills. I'm sorry, like we're the wrong panel of men to say this to, because literally everyone on this panel pays the bills, and I attest to that as an honest statement.
And/or produce at least some of their own families.
Oh, dude, for sure. Everybody here is a producer. I'm sorry, like, you're talking to a group of men who are high productive, high success, high quality men. All of us here achieve at the maximum levels of what we can do.
Right. Like, and I got you, Republic Room. I understand what you're saying. We don't.
No, I do. We're just the wrong guys to throw that at. We're the exact wrong guys to talk to. Giovanni takes care of a family like no man can. I'm sorry, like, it's just not.
She's speaking broader. She's speaking.
Yeah, I understand. I respect it, and I appreciate the super chat. I'm just pointing out in this moment, it's one of those things where everybody here does that. We live to that standard. That's why everyone here is comfortable talking with the confidence that we do in regards to these things. I'm sorry. Like, that's because everybody thinks everybody's a hustler. We're not hustlers. We're trying to have honest conversations with you guys in the chat. We really are.
Look, my personal thoughts on that, living, walking the walk, talking the talk, and walking the walk is essentially what that individual is sort of saying. I have no problems. Yeah, sure. I'm not actually single, but I abide by the same principles of provider and protector and the sort of the traditional manly role in my relationships, regardless, and I actually look for women who appreciate that. Right now, I actually have exactly that dynamic. My girlfriend literally does the feminine things, and I do the masculine things, And she is perfectly happy with that. She wants me to do that. She encourages me to make the decisions. I'm not one of those guys who goes, so what do you want to do today? I don't know. What do you want to do today? That kind of man is the piss weak man that I despise. Any man who doesn't have a plan about what he wants to do with his woman when they're meeting up, I have it all laid out. It's 1 a.m. right now. I'm seeing my girl later on today. I have it already mapped out. I know where we're going to go. I know I'm going to pick her up at this time. I'm going to take her here. I'm going to take her there. And this is the time I'm bringing her back home. This is what we're going to do. She doesn't have to think about this. It's me. It's on me because I'm supposed to be the man here. And I don't get me wrong. There are plenty of guys who are not like that. And I feel for those guys. I know guys who lost out on great women because they went to a bar and they couldn't make a decision on what drinks to buy.
Yep.
It's horrific. It's horrific. These poor men have no clue that women want you to lead. Women like you to lead. They think it's chauvinistic. They think it's oh God, no. They want you to be the man. Take charge. Take control of the situation. Don't keep going back and forth with your girl. What do you want to do? What do you want to drink? I don't know. What do you want to drink? It's the most weak ass thing you can possibly do. And this is the tiny little example, not to mention the children, the life you want to build, the house you want to buy. All of that comes from these tiny decisions, these tiny moments where you take control and you say, it is on me. You take those bricks and you put them on your shoulders and you carry your family forward. Don't wait for your woman to make decisions for you. But unfortunately, that message is gone. That message is old school message. Right. Kids don't get that anymore. Kids are waiting for the woman to make the call and the decisions and this and that. And women, actually, that is the quickest way to the driest vagina. That's all I say.
Jeez.
Man, that's a statement there. That's a statement there, man. But
we'll be right back after these messages.
I know, man, but we do got to get men back to like being men. And I admit, like I was that guy that was indecisive, at a period of time. And the reason I got there, like I was raised by my dad. My dad was a great man. He's consistent. But I started listening to what women said, particularly about, like how my father, like how people like my father were, and my dad's a great dad. And it almost made me like, I don't want to be like him. Right. Because, he's too strong. He needs to be be softer. He's too focused, so he needs to be a little more open. And, a lot of that in my early 20s, I believed, right? That led me to do things that made me a simp, quite frankly. So, I mean, I think that at some point this is going to come back and haunt me. But people are going to take that soundbite and say, well, Giovanni said he was a simp. Well, but that was then. And it was a result of kind of listening to the culture, right? Listening to, the religion of black at a certain point, listening to what media says on how men were. Now, there is an element, men, you have to be careful out here, but it was careful to the point where you're catering, where you're coddling, you're kowtowed, right? So, those things we have to reject, right? And you still have to protect yourself, but you have to reject that element that says you shouldn't be a man because being a man is bad. Being a leader, being a provider and protector is the wrong thing to do. You should go ahead and just let the woman lead, let the woman do the thing, and whatever it is. So I'm just speaking from a sense of, I understand what it was like to be, to listen to what the media, what the world, what the culture told you to be, adhering to it, and it getting me into terrible situations, right? You still have to be protective, but you still need to be a man, be a leader, go after your goals, go after your dream, reject those things that take you away from that, because it's just noise, and just, you got to do what you got to do. So,
and on that note, guys, I think that's a perfect time to segue into closing remarks. This was a great show. This is a great show. Hopefully, Shannon Sharpe will watch this show and take
He's been
heed.
watching.
Yeah,
He
he's
just
probably
hasn't commented.
Yeah.
Well, Shannon Sharpe had so much advice though. Monique told him, Crap Williams told him. I mean, I don't know what is going to get through his head, but you know.
Yeah.
Can
Other than
I-
that, go ahead, Gabby.
My closing remark is this: if I had $50 million in the bank or $1 million in the bank, and I wanted to smash an OnlyFans girl, I'm just going to the Bunny Ranch because there I'm not getting sued afterwards.
Yeah.
Poppin' Politics is up next, guys. So make sure you check them out. They're going live tonight at 9 p.m. So Poppin' Politics.
Thank you guys so much, man. Thank you guys so much that are in the chat. Go ahead, Afeez. You about to say something?
I just want to say thank you, gentlemen. I'm going to drop off. It's very late here, and it's always a pleasure talking to you, gentlemen.
Likewise.
It's lovely. Peace out.
Peace. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much in the chat. Salute to you all.